Today is my last Warlock build, and I'm leaving you guys with a treat. My Warlock mains. This build right here is not perfected, okay? I'm giving y'all homework. I'm giving y'all something to grind for to make one of the most broken builds for Warlocks outside of, getaway artists, okay? This build is more weapon focused, but I got inspiration on making a build that is like hunter-ish, where you have so many buffs going on in your build that you're just unkillable and you just go through content easily. So that's where the inspiration came for this build. Okay, so the exotic we are using in this build is Karnstein's Armlets. If you don't know what Karnstein's Armlets do, the exotic perk says melee and finisher final blows instantly grant cure and provide restoration for a short duration. And remember what I said, I'm trying to copy off the hunter, okay? So we're gonna try to get every buff in this build as possible, okay? So what Karnsteins do, just show you guys, if I get a melee kill on these enemies in front of me, I'll get cure, but I get restoration as well for 8 seconds. But if I finish remove somebody, my bad. If I finish remove somebody, you get restoration times 2. And we all know how broken restoration times 2 is, okay? And as you can see, as you keep getting melee kills, you can refresh that normally. So you just need one finisher move in. But just show you guys how broken restoration times 2 is. See how fast my health going up. And that's without any type of damage resistance on, right? My purpose of this build is to keep restoration times 2 on 24/7. So the unique thing that makes this build broken is fast to the purpose. So as y'all seen, whenever we get a regular melee kill after having restoration times 2 on, we can keep getting regular melee kills to extend the duration of restoration times 2. So we don't have to worry about doing a finisher move ever again to continue that. Now, what happens if we got faster the purpose on and we go orb power that gives restoration? It resets that restoration times 2. Okay? So basically, as long as we keep getting infinite orbs in this build, we can keep restoration times 2 up 24/7 as long as we just keep getting an orb of power. This is where the homework comes in for you Warlocks. Because I don't have it, because I'm not a Warlock main, I am a Hunter main. So most of my armor sets are on my Hunter when I play with my friends and them. Because, yeah. The armor set bonus you would want for this build is not Exodus Down. It would be the Vault of Glass Armor, Atheon's Memory. Reason being is because while you have an elemental buff on with the Vault of Glass Armor, every time you do sustained damage, you make an orb of power. It's basically attrition orbs, but for all damage. And the orb spawns on your body, not where the enemy is at. So with this build, we'll be able to keep restoration times 2 on 24/7 with the Vault of Glass Armor, making us unkillable. And then the stats you run this build is 100 weapons, so you get the most weapon damage possible. Of course, we're going to be running surges in this build. 100 class stats, so you can spam your Phoenix dive. 100 super, so we can spam Song with Flame. Don't worry, we got a font mod in our helmet. 70 grenade, 95 melee. You want to try to get as much melee as possible so that your lightning surge do a lot of damage in this build. And then 0 health, we don't need it because we don't have restoration times 2 on 24/7. The weapons you want to run this build is a Chronic Roulette because it does have attrition orbs and chaos reshape on it. So perfect with the strand synergy as well with Tablet of Ruin we are using. You want to use Motif 41 simply because it has attrition orb on it and auto loading holster, but also it helps us get bolt charges triggered. So as y'all know, whenever you use lightning surge, you get bolt charge and amplified. And then the more tick damage you do with weapons, the faster you can trigger it. So with an arrow denier grenade launcher, you can make that go up very fast and then trigger the bolt charge and then do it again to get the bolt charge, shoot it again at an enemy, tick damage, and you get to trigger the bolt charges non-stop. So you want to run the arrow denial in your energy slot and then a strand weapon in your primary slot with the synergy of Tablet of Ruin. And then we got Truth on for some heavy boss damage because Truth just does dumb damage, okay? You can do 1,000 Voices if you got the Catalyst done. That worked as well. Just something that can really help with fighting bosses to do dumb damage to them, okay? Now, Tablet of Ruin, we're running to shreds. We will be doing Sever in this build with the Strand weapon, but also too our Threatlings in this build. So this is how we get in Wolf and Mel in the build. So already, y'all seen we get Restoration, Cure, and Radiant, because we do have the Fragment on to do Radiant whenever we do our melee. So we got all the solar stuff done. Y'all see we're doing Lightning Surge in this build, so that's giving us Bolt Charge and Amplify. So we got all the Arc synergy done. Now Strand is out the way. We got Sever going on with Strand, Unraveling, and Wolf and Mel. That's out the way. So now we just gotta worry about Void, and Stacy's just gonna be one of the things we just don't have in this build, okay? We got Defibrillating Blast on. Whenever we trigger Bolt Charge, we get a chunk of health. And when we stun champion, we get max Bolt Charges. So because we are spamming, like I said, Lightning Surge with the Air Denial Grenade Launcher, we're gonna be triggering Bolt Charges like crazy, meaning we get a chunk of health whenever we want. And we are gonna have Restoration Times 2 on 24/7 if you got the Vault of Glass armor on, right? We have on Horror Shuttle. This is allowing our Threatlings to sever people and dealing damage to unravel people, made Threatlings. We have on Malign Harvest. This is how we're going to be getting the Void Overshield in this build. Because whenever we throw our grenade, we'll weaken people, and we get a Void Overshield from doing that. So that's how we got a Void Overshield in this build. And we're going to be weakening people too to be able to do more damage to them as well. We got on Flash Over to make the Bolt Charge do even more damage. And whenever we get max Bolt Charge, we get Amplified. So this is just keep Amplified on 24/7 for us. We got on Dielectric. Whenever we kill Art debuff targets, we get Bolt Charge. So anybody that's like Joda, anything like that, we'll get some Bolt Charge stacks. And then we shoot our Air Denial to get the stacks up to max. And then we got Photonic Flare on. Since a lot of people are going to be severed from the Threatlings, whenever we kill them with Lightning Surge, it'll do a blinding explosion, blinding people in the room, allowing us to, you know, have a little bit more control in the environment. But if you do want to throw on something like Unraveling Orbs so that the SMG does Unraveling for us whenever you pick up Orb Power, which you can do because you will have the Vault of Glass armor on, then the consistency will be there for you to just shoot the gun and it'll make Threatlings and Sever on its own, okay? Subclass. Song of Flame, as y'all already know, we want to have this on, so then we do have Restoration Times 2 on. We get an Orb Power, we'll keep it non-stop, on non-stop. So again, Vault of Glass armor, very imperative here, okay? Phoenix Dive, fastest cooldown for us to do Weaver's Call, to get the Threatlings out there. We have on Arcane Needle, so we have 3 melee charges for our Lightning Surge. And then we have our Vortex Grenade on, so we can weaken people to get that Void Overshield whenever. And then, of course, our Transcendence Grenade going to be doing weakening as well for us to get a Void Overshield. You don't have to have on Weaver's Call if you don't want to. Again, you can put on Unraveling Orbs in the artifact, and then the gun itself will be doing the Threatlings and the Severing and whatnot. You could put on Feed the Void, Devour, so you get your grenade back quicker to get Void Overshield more often. And then again, every time you kill somebody, you'll get a chunk of grenade energy and health. Not saying you're gonna need the health because Restoration Times 2 gonna be on 24/7, but you will be having uptime your grenade more often to get the Void Overshield that you want. Lightning Surge, we can use this whenever we want to get Amplified in our build, just like Hunters. You can proc Ascension whenever they want for Amplified. For us, Lightning Surge. Okay. Fragments, we got on Facet of Hope to get our class ability back quicker so we can pop our class ability to get Cure whenever we want, and to make Threatlings out there to serve people, to kill them, to get the Wolf and Male for ourselves. We have on Facet of Courage simply because we want our melee to do more damage to people that are affected by darkness. This actually buffs melee damage by 50% if it's a light element. So anybody that's affected by Sever or Unraveling something, our Lightning Surge is doing 50% more damage to them. So this adds some more oomph to our Lightning Surges and harder and constant to kill enemies. We got on Facet of Dominance. This is how our grenade is weakening people for the Void Overshield. We got on Facet of Purpose for the constant Restoration Times 2 with Karnstein's on. We got on Facet of Dawn. This is how we get in Radiant whenever we spam our Lightning Surge, making our weapons do 20% more damage. And then, of course, if we weakening them with the grenades, we're now doing dumb damage for our weapons. And then we got on Facet of Balance on, so whenever we rapidly kill people for our melee or rapidly kill people with darkness energy, I guess I should say, we'll be getting grenade energy and melee energy in this build. But this is a flex fragment. You can replace this with anything you want in case you need some like more weapon stats. You can go with Facet of Ruin. If you want to sever people by shooting them precision shots, you can go with Facet of Solitude. You know, you can go with Facet of Protection if you want to have more survivability even more while you're near enemies, because you are spamming Lightning Surge, right? So you can go Facet of Purpose Protection as well. Armor mods. We have on Harmonic Siphon, so our solo weapons make orbs, because we are running the motif. Even though it got attrition orb, if it kills somebody, then some more orbs out there for us. We have on Strand Siphon, so our strand weapon with attrition orb on it can make orbs while you kill more than one person. super font so that we have 100 super so we can spam Song of Flame as quick as possible. I got 3 heavy-handed on so I can make it overpowered whenever I use my melee. But again, if you got the Vault of Glass armor on, you do not need 3 heavy-handed. Put on melee fonts. Try to get that melee stat to 200 if possible so you do more damage with your lightning surges. Because you will be spamming inside Transcendence. We got our resist mods on our chest piece. We have on 2 strand weapon surges so that our, Synchronic Roulette do more damage while we shoot people with it. And then we have on innovation because we don't have Feed the Void on. So whenever I do pick up the Orb Power, I get more grenade energy. So I can spam it or Void Overshield whenever I want. And then we got a class final one. So we get that 50% damage reduction whenever we pop our Phoenix Dive with the Overshield on it. Special finishers and make special ammo, which you will be doing very consistently if you got the Vault of Glass armor, because you will have maxed out armor charges non-stop with the Vault of Glass armor. If you've seen any of my builds on my Hunter with the Vault of Glass armor being used, it's just S tier, broken armor set. And then we have on Reaper so that we can make an Orb Power whenever we kill somebody after using Phoenix Dive. Now, if you're someone that's like, I don't need to have Song of Flame on to keep restoration times 2 on 24/7, I can just get the melee kills and finish your moves. Then by all means, you can change this to Winter Wrath to get that Frost armor in this build, and then you'll have every elemental buff in this build at your disposal. You can put on Winter Wrath, and you can put on Feed the Void instead of Weaver's Call, and then you'll have every elemental buff in this build. Literally, every buff. I know some people don't care for the super of Winter Wrath. That's why I didn't go with that route. But you can go that route, okay? Especially with the Vault of Glass armor on. You have Frost armor on non-stop. You'll be making the Wolf and Mail hot spots with your Strand weapon and the artifact. So then you have Wolf and Mail, Frost armor, Void Overshield from your Grenade Throne, Amplify from Lightning Surges, and then you have Restoration from Karmstein. You can go that route if you want. But that's the build, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. I wanted to do something similar like I did for my Hunter. So yeah, very powerful, especially if you got the Vault of Glass armor. So that's your homework, Warlock mains. Get the Vault of Glass armor, and I promise you, this is probably the best, strongest build y'all can use outside of freaking Getaway Arts. Love you guys, appreciate you guys always, and until next time, stay up.